Welcome back to the Empty the Quiver podcast, your front row seats for everything Utah Archers. From game recaps to standout performances, we'll be your guide to all things orange and blue. Let's let it fly. Welcome back to another great episode of the Empty the Quiver podcast. I'm Jackson, this JB. Not a fun one to make here. Another egg laid by the offense. Defense did everything they needed to keep us in that game. I don't know. Any opening thoughts?
Yeah, just to echo you, 5 goals is never going to get it done. We only gave up 8, so it was there for the taking. I was at the game, made the drive down. It was an awesome time, perfect day, great weather, but overall not the result we wanted.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, 8 goals given up. We should win that every time. I mean, we're a professional lacrosse team. We got to put double digits on the board. I think Coach Bates kind of echoed that a little bit. He's head coach and offensive coordinator. So I definitely think that we'll probably see some lineup changes on the offensive end. I mean, it's only 7 guys now, when we run four short sticks. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I think our locks, we decided before this that Fields, King, Trey, pretty much locked into the lineup. We did
Yeah.
add, not to jump ahead, but we added a player, and he is an attackman, Aiden O'Neill. Welcome to Utah, Aiden. Since he was added, I think he has to be active. Is that right?
I think he has to go on the 19 man too, not even
Yep.
the 21. He's got to play this weekend.
That's
So
4. That only leaves us with 3 other attack or midfield candidates, and the options are Mac, CK, Steins, Ambler, and Dyson. We saw last week Dyson was inactive. That could have been the lingering injury from the week 1 game when he did get hurt and was limping pretty badly. I don't know if it was lower back or something with his leg, but he looked pretty beat up after the game, or if it was just we didn't have enough spots. Hard to say. You always remind me that Coach Bates is so big on righty lefty. He likes to have an even mix on his attack and midfield units. So if we have Fields and O'Neill as lefties, that leaves us with King and Trey as righties, and then 3 additional guys. You want to make any predictions, or you just want to talk about why each one would be a good fit?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we're looking for definitely one more righty and one more lefty, and then the third would probably be a wild card. If I'm Coach Bates, I think it's time to give Dyson a run at attack. I think that's we obviously drafted him 2 years ago, and he's played midfield ever since. As much as I love Mac or Ambler out there, I don't know how many more teams are going to keep giving a poll to either of them. It's been Ambler for the last 2 games. I don't know how much longer we're really going to get a poll on those guys. Um, I don't know. Dyson just brings something different. Obviously, we need something different. So if I'm making the lineup this weekend, I think I'm probably throwing Dyson at attack. Um, the righty is a tough equation. Obviously, I think both have been good in their own way. If I had to take one today, I'd probably take CK. But it's also, I mean, we just drafted Steins with a second round pick. He seems to be pretty bent on playing professional lacrosse. He lives in Utah already. I'd love to keep his confidence up. But if if you ask me, I'm taking CK today, and then I think my third is probably Mac. It gives us a little bit more stretch shooting. He does have 3 points this year. Ambler has two. Um, but I'm not the one that's making those decisions. That would be kind of where I would lean. How about you?
Yeah, I can't disagree. I do think we've both been talking about Dyson at attack. We see him play the box game. He The popularity level and impact he makes in the NLL is greater than what he has made in the PLL simply because he hasn't gotten as much time on the field for the Archers. And I mean, let's see what the guy can do. If we put him at attack, he's a finisher. He'd be that guy across the middle, standing outside of the crease. That I think, as long as we can move the ball, but ultimately, regardless of who we pick or who Coach Bates picks, we have to complete simple passes. We can't turn the ball over. We have to take shots. All of those things didn't happen in Baltimore. I mean, we said it was an 8-5 game. We had 22 or 23 turnovers, which we're getting used to it at this point because we've been a turnover team even in our championship years. We turned the ball over more than we think we should have, but there were a lot of goals left out there and a lot of passes that I really think we convert them most of the time. And it's still growing pains. It's the new system, and we sound like a broken record at this point. But at some point, it has to click. We were down 4-0 in that game and made a run, and it was 5-5. At that point, you have all the momentum. You scored 5 of the last 6 goals, and then we don't score again, and then lose 8-5. So yeah, regardless of the player, I think they're all extremely talented. They can all do the job. It's just we got to find that fit and get the guys comfortable.
Yeah, and it's the right combination. I do think part of it too is, we only practice 1 day a week. How many times can run, an extra man offense with, a different combination of 7 guys or really 6 on the field. Um, I don't know. I think it still comes down to aggression. I mean, how many shot clock turnovers did we have? How many, especially off a face-off win? I mean, we've got to make something happen. We got to get a shot off, and I mean, a lot of them. I mean, we were just on the wings and had to goose it. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely about finding the right combination, but you also have to keep all those other situations, not only the handedness, not only, how does this group fit together on an extra man? Like I said, it's not a job that I would want to have right now. But point blank, we have to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think, I would like to see, um, the D Medis and Woody be a little bit more aggressive. I like the play that we tried to run a couple times at the end of the game where Ambler was coming off the box, Woody's coming down midfield, but we have to do that when they have a guy caught. I mean, it's not effective if he's the only person running off the field. They're just going to stand there and wait for him at the top of the key. So I think the execution could definitely be a little bit higher, but have been really impressed with the D mids so far. I think Bo has gotten robbed several times. Piper missed that one in the first game in Utah. I think it's there. I don't think McGuire, attempted a shot. Once there's a comfort level with him that he just needs to get to be like, hey, I made McGuire. I can take the ball over midfield and look for an opportunity to score. Um, you know, but we're approaching game 4. I mean, we're a quarter through the season already. We're 1-2. Our defense gives up 8 goals a game on average. We have to start putting the ball in the back of the net to win games because I think the defense can do this all year, but at some point they're not, and we need to. I mean, if we score 8 goals, it's not going to be enough.
We started off the season saying it's not realistic to expect the defense to hold them to less than 10, and each game that goes by, it seems more likely that that's just the norm. The defense is that good. They really are. To touch on 2 things you just said, the play with Woody, it was cool to see in person too. You see him creeping up, and then the almost like the trick play kind of thing with Ambler hopping off and Woody hopping on. And the problem with that was there was a minute and a half left in the game, and we're down by 3, so they're waiting for it. And you need to attempt some 2 point or a little bit of creativity at a random moment, like the onside kick in the Super Bowl when nobody's expecting it to happen. And the other thing you said with the shot clock violations, it was constant. And if Sis looked like Sis and he won 11 of the last 14 faceoffs, did we score on any of? Sorry, start of the second half, we scored 2 right away, 2 in 1 minute.
Yeah.
It looked like the Archers of old for about 50 seconds, and after that we didn't score again. So if he's winning them at a clip of it was 65% for the weekend, but if you can't score the goal on the short shot clock, it's painful to watch. So
Yeah.
hoping they turn it around.
Well, not to stay on the doom and gloom too long. I mean, I thought obviously the defense was great. Shout out to Brett Dobson coming back first game, 60%. I mean, that's a winning stat line. Obviously, Sis was wonderful at the stripe. We I liked a lot of what I saw from the D mids. Piper, even though the goal was great, the first shot that he made was awesome too, and Carroll made a brilliant save on it.
Yep.
So. I mean, I don't know. The defense looks like they want it. I mean, they're not losing 50-50 ground balls. They're standing tall. I mean, we were 3 men down at one point. Got the shot that we wanted. Dauber made a save. Unfortunately, there was three more of them than there were us, and they got the rebound and scored. I
Right.
mean, there's not a thing to complain about on defense. I mean, maybe Dauber needs to stay in the crease, but I also think we could call a timeout there. Um,
First quarter when
so
he's running up the field.
yeah,
Yeah. And
I
it's
mean,
also it's butterflies, right? He just came off the MVP season, first time in net.
right.
He's excited. He's ready to rock. Got the best of him and he settled in as soon as that as soon as that mistake
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. Now, obviously, the defense left a little bit to be desired in the clear game. I mean, God, there was a stretch in the fourth quarter that we didn't even get an offensive touch, even though we allowed no goals because we just airmailed 3 balls in a row. I mean, so not everybody's immune to it. I mean, one of our guys got caught by this burner on Instagram the other day at work, hitting the wall on his lunch break. And guess what? No turnovers this week. So I don't know if maybe we need to get a little bit more of that going or what, but overall, very very pleased with how the defense has played.
Yeah, I mean, since we're talking bright spots, you want to go arrows of the game segment we started last week. We give three to the top player of the game, two to number two, and then one arrow to our third best player of the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the top, it's the guy on his lunch break, AirPods in, dress shirt on, hitting the wall. Piper Bond, defensive midfielder, 2 caused turnovers, a goal, and 0 turnovers on himself. I mean, that's just what more can you ask for? I mean, especially scoring one of the 5 goals that we scored, and doing all the other stuff on the other end. I mean, excellent game.
Yeah, I had mentioned to you after the game had started. I was there early enough to watch some pregame. Um, Piper, he's the only player I saw. He went into the tunnel to same thing, ball off the wall for like a solid 10 minutes, just back and forth, ensuring that his stick skills are what they need to be an offensive defensive midi. So yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to Piper Bond. He's played great all season.
yeah,
Number two, like we mentioned, Mikey Sis, 65%, tied for top faceoff guy in the league this weekend with Trevor Baptiste. He lost the first three at the game, and it looked like, oh no, is this going to be a long day? But it was PD LaSala's second game of the weekend, and as all faceoff guys know, you do get into a little bit of a rhythm with the official, the cadence, the timing of that whistle, and so PD had played the night before, comes out hot, has the timing down, and then the last 14 faceoffs of the game after those first three, Mikey won 11 of the 14. So again, 0 turnovers, which when he wins one to himself, he's getting brutalized by three guys, both wings
yeah.
and Petey himself. He had 8 ground balls, did not turn the ball over. Winning at a 65% rate is tops of the league right now. So 2 hours for Mikey, and then take it away on number three.
The return of the NLL MVP, first game back. Definitely would have liked to have seen a save before a goal allowed, but really, really settled in. Um, the one error, but otherwise, I mean, 60% save percentage, 12 saves, 8 goals allowed. Just to if that's the baseline and we're going to get better from there, sign me up.
8 goals allowed is every goalie in pro lacrosse. They would take that every single game. So it's like you said, it's a game you got to win. But on to Carolina, right?
That's right.
It's
That's
in the
right.
rear view.
Little brother. So opening game of Little Brother's Homecoming a weekend. Man, I won't be there unfortunately, but I'll be watching. I'll be in my lucky jersey, and I'll be as loud as they may hear me from Hilton Head. Who knows? Um, but nothing would make my weekend more than watching little brother lose at home to us. Now, I'm playing golf on Friday. I think I would trade a hole in one for a win. I mean, that's how much it means to me. That's how much I don't like this team. I was in the Red Legion for a little bit, and I really like those guys. Josh, Reaper, Michael. They're all fantastic guys. It's a hard team to root for, and I think there may be a little culture change with Stephen Brooks at the top, who I do really think a lot of as well. But I don't know, something about that red and black. I'm a Clemson fan. It kind of looks like South Carolina colors a little bit. There's nothing anybody could ever do to make me like them.
Not even give the Carolinas a home team because you're from there, and the day that they said Carolina gets a team, it's the chaos. You did try. You gave it a shot, and that's all
I
you can ask
gave it
for.
my all. I went to the retreat, did all of that. And I mean, it was a game against the Archers where Jack Rowlett is poking guys in the back while they're on the ground. You know, I mean, we're 5-1 against them in our last 6 games, and they want to jaw at the end of games, and I don't know. I mean, I don't do that.
So, with that said, do you think we're gonna see Rowlett? He was inactive last weekend.
Yeah, that was a head scratcher for me. I don't know. I mean, he's on the reserve roster, so it wasn't an injury, or maybe it was something that they didn't really want to disclose. Like I said, there's a little bit of a culture change going on there. They don't have quite as much as of the kind of d bag, you know, 3% in the championship or whatever the number was. They've still got some of the pieces, and they've got some chippy to them left. Obviously, Rowlett's kind of the ringleader, and Newman will give somebody some words. I wouldn't step across Owen Hiltz either. I mean, he just looks like somebody that would have some words for you. But yeah, I mean, they played well against a good, I think, a good offense that has the pieces in the Water Dogs last week. Obviously, CJ Curse kind of got his in the first half. Good defensive adjustments at halftime, so ended up winning that game 10-8. I mean, it's the most complete offense they've had in a long time since the Canadian guys left. Um, Yeah, I mean, Iker's awesome. Hiltz is great. It's been fun to watch Nick Turn kind of have a resurgent. Ross Scott's a great. I mean, he's quick, and then the addition of Palumbo last week was really great too. So definitely don't have our work cut out for us. And obviously, they have Blaze and Cage, who if he goes on a run, I mean, he's unstoppable. But not all hope is lost. I mean, they had a pretty rough game last year. I don't remember what the score was. I think it might have been like 19-7 or something. I mean, it was a rough game. So hoping that happens again. I'd love to beat them by 30. Um, I'm not sure. We may use all the rest of our goals for the season. I'm not sure I want to do that, but I'd definitely like to put it on them.
I mean, 10-1 wasn't that long ago. We did play them in the semis, beat them 10-1. It was 10-0 with about 30 seconds left in that game, and I really thought we're going to pitch a shutout in a playoff game. They got one. Still a 10-1 victory. We reference it often because yes, it's in the past, but we did win the championship that year.
Yeah,
Um, the Cavs haven't won anything since. They won championship series, but
yeah.
I mean that's indoor lacrosse, not the same game.
Absolutely no. We've got them at the Face-Off X. Justin Asio was an archer, was drafted to be an archer. Sis beat him out, so hopefully that kind of rings true. I'm definitely taking our defense over them. I'm still taking our goalie over them, and I'm definitely taking our iPad guy over them. Nick Washuta, friend of the podcast. Um, you know, who knows? Maybe he'll be the deciding factor. I hope it's not close, but um, yeah, I feel good there. And look, the pieces on offense are there, like we were talking about earlier. It's just finding the right combination. Getting an initiator. I think having King. It looked like they were pretty happy with how he played at attack. I think that's going to be the straw that stirs the drink, and obviously we're gonna have to make plays.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch Aiden O'Neal. We've talked a little bit about the PLL Pro Day over the last two episodes. It happened coming out of Pro Day. There was a lot of hype with both O'Neal and Finn Thompson. I was hoping that we would take one of them, just a flyer, something, a spark on offense. I
Yeah,
tried to get a little something out of Coach Bates in the postgame press conference, asking about. I just straight up said, "Is there anybody that you think we might add before the game?" And didn't really give much. He had a long drive to South Carolina that he wanted to think long and hard about what we're going to do to change this offense around. And we got O'Neal. The Redwoods did add Finn Thompson. A couple other moves. Matt Rambo's on the Atlas now. He was
yeah,
inactive for three straight games, so he was able to be claimed. He's switching colors from the teal to the Carolina blue in New York. And Princeton's goalie, what was up with that? He got signed and then traded for a first round pick, which seems
yeah.
super scammy and stuff that if it happens in our fantasy league, you veto that immediately. But
Yeah, no sign and trade, and yeah, credit to Stan on that one. It'll be interesting. Obviously, it sounds like that's kind of like a goalie of the future. I know that there's some um, legislation, the 5-and-5 legislation that coaches are starting to worry about. Maybe the draft next year won't be as deep as they're thinking it is, because if there's no new legislation, it's going to be a fantastic draft. I mean, the first 12, 14 picks are going to be awesome, but some of those guys make another year, and maybe a first round pick isn't as valuable. To me, a first round pick on a guy that's never played a PLL game is wild. But I mean, maybe there's another move, still to come too. I mean, I think there's been some buzz on the Water Dogs, maybe wanting to try him out. Obviously, they released Troutner, so maybe they're looking. But I don't know. I think Dan was the one that said that this player movement window in the last 24 to 48 hours has been bigger than maybe since the teams in 2019 were announced. So it's been a crazy time. Glad that we were able to get a pickup, like you said, any kind of spark just to change things up a little bit on offense is going to be well received, and hopefully you know provide a different result. I still think if we're going to run four short sticks, we need to get 3 points out of the rope unit. Now that maybe two goals and an assist, maybe that's a 2 pointer and a goal, but I think even though they're playing awesome on defense, if we're going to commit to dropping an offensive guy for another short stick, I think we're going to need a little bit more production on the offensive end. But it's still early in the season, and they're figuring it out. I mean, Piper ran into Fields when he had the ball behind the net at one point. I mean, Fields still scored, so maybe he needs to run into him every time. But there's still definitely still some growing pains.
yeah, and honestly, it doesn't even have to be all goals from those short sticks. If they come flying up on a change of possession and
Yeah,
it's a couple passes back and forth, and they rack up 3, 4, 5 assists in a game because they're the ones bringing the ball up, they feed, we rip a shot. CK, I mean, we've heard about CK's shot since camp about how dangerous it is. Let it fly, man. It's our motto for the show. Let it fly.
yeah,
We gotta keep ripping those shots. And Aiden O'Neal, for those who aren't college lacrosse fans, he played against Duke in the NCAA tournament. Pulled a little reverse Christian Leitner against Duke, where their goalie threw the ball full field with I don't know 5 seconds left. I watched that replay. My jaw dropped. It was impressive to see him receive that pass, dodge, get the shot off. It scores a goal with a couple seconds left. I mean, that's juice goal defined. And if we
yeah,
can do something with that in Utah,
yeah. We need some of those.
absolutely. He won't be wearing number 5 because, as we all know, Connor Fields, that's his number. But So wait to order your jerseys. We'll see tomorrow they release the Aiden O'Neal number. So if you're interested in repping his jersey, just hold off for another 24 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
All Star game coming up. Voting open today. I always say it's super silly to start voting for All Stars after some of them played 2 or 3 games. Joey Spallina, I can almost guarantee you he'll be an All Star. He's played one weekend, but jerseys are flying off the rack. The kids love him. The Syracuse contingent, obviously, they're going to load the voting ballot box with Spallina votes. But yeah, the fans vote. So guys like Fields, Piper Bond, Lavelle has been as good of a defender that you will ever see in the league. Mikey's
Dunham,
playing well at the
huge.
X. Yeah, Dauber, obviously, King.
Yep.
Get out and vote.
So that's right. Well, let's talk a little cardboard. Um,
Let's do it.
Speaking of assists from our rope unit, I'll read the back of this guy's card. A third round pick. This player only allowed 13.2% shooting as the closest defender in his rookie season. He made the most difficult position in lacrosse look easy and did so while registering the third most second assists in the league with five, impressing as a decision maker in transition. So maybe we'll see a little bit more out of that coming up here soon. But yeah, it's our three arrow winner, Piper Bond. I actually just recently acquired the one of one here. So this is his rookie rainbow. So that was the one of one, the 10, the 25, and the 77. So really, really excited to acquire that recently. Um, but yeah,
That's sick. When you said third round pick, I immediately thought, okay, Marr and Piper were drafted second and third round in 2023, and I was pretty sure Connor Marr went before Piper. So he
yeah,
did, and then Cam Wires fourth round that year. The fact that that draft class, all four of them are still very important to this roster, says a lot. Especially
yeah,
after playing a Whipsnakes team that threw out 6 or 7 rookies against us, and they all looked good. So
yeah.
I'm going with a little bit of a change up here. He hasn't played yet this year, but like I said, I was there pregame. Both Tom and Grant were stick in hand, taking some shots on goal, throwing some passes. It got me excited, obviously, because those are two guys that took us to the championship in 23 and 24. So would love to have them back. I have a Grant Ament autograph out of 10, along with, similar to you, a mini rainbow, the 25, the 49, and the 77. They look pretty cool next to each other. It's from the 2024 set after they won that back to back championship. The auto cards are always hard to get. I mean, the base card is a little less valuable, you could say, so the autos are harder to come by, and to get one of each of those of Grant is pretty cool. So, throwing out the positive vibes into the universe that he will be healthy soon, and we can get him out there.
Yeah. So, well, JB will be boots on the ground in Charlotte for Friday night. So please come tell him hello, tell him how much you miss me. But thank you again for joining us this week. Please like, subscribe, share, review, anything you can do on your preferred social media platform, streaming platform. We just hit, what was it, 60 followers on Instagram.
Mhm.
So we're super thankful for all of y'all. I think we're gonna do a little giveaway at 100 on Instagram. So keep posted for that. Tell your friends and take us out, JB.
Yes, I will. I'll be there in Carolina, so if you happen to come by, say what's up. Um, you're in Hilton Head?
Yeah.
All right. Well, in Hilton Head, it's okay. Just remember, let it fly.
Thanks.